Exclusive contract from Feilu Novel Network Novel. Food. Please, doctor, I really don't want to be discharged. Lin Xuan travels through a world where multiple medical films and TV dramas blend together, becoming a chef in a hospital cafeteria and awakening the culinary system. I thought life was comfortable, but everyone likes ordering takeout, and no one likes hospital cafeterias. Until a patient with deep anorexia finished eating all the boxed meals that the doctor had forgotten in the office cafeteria. Obstetricians and Gynecologists He Jing. I thought food was happiness, but I found that having him is happiness. The food he cooks has a taste of happiness, said Fang Xiaoran. A cardiologist-psychologist Horton said, with him, there is no more anorexia in the world. I want to eat the food he makes for a lifetime. Patient Xu Hongdou said, I don't want to go to places with wind, I just want to go to places with you. The hospital director said, wow, the whole hospital knows that the cafeteria is delicious, and you even tricked me into going to a 5-star hotel. The patient cried bitterly and said, please doctor, I really don't want to be discharged. Feilu Novel Network reminds you that this novel and its characters are purely fictional. If there are any similarities, they are purely coincidental and should not be imitated. Chapter 1. Contract Hospital Canteen. Seeking Collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Have you traveled? Lin Xuan opened his eyes. Last second, I was still working as a social animal in the company. The next second, he arrived in a kitchen. At this moment, a large amount of information came to my mind. Lin Xuan accepted the information in his mind and then understood that he had traveled through time. It's not soul-piercing. But it's like being reborn, returning to the body more than 10 years ago. More than 10 years ago, Lin Xuan studied as a chef at New Oriental, and his initial idea was very simple. As a chef, at least you won't starve yourself for a lifetime. But it wasn't until he became a chef that he realized how easy it was. He couldn't stir-fry a good dish, and even dogs despised it. It's easy to cook the dishes, but it's incredibly difficult to stir-fry them well. Lin Xuan finally understood why chefs became more and more popular as they got older, because they spent their entire lives cooking. In the end, after working as a chef for several years, Lin Xuan resolutely resigned and studied at night school before joining the company as a social worker. Now, it seems like a cycle of fate. Everything, in the end, has returned to its original point. But this origin is somewhat different from Lin Xuan's previous life experience. In his previous life, after working as a chef for several years, Lin Xuan chose to use the money he had saved up, pay the down payment, and buy a small square-meter house. In this life, I actually used the deposit that I had originally planned to pay for the down payment to contract the hospital cafeteria for a year. Even though it was impossible to change, Lin Xuan quickly accepted these things. At this moment, Lin Xuan noticed that there was still a person standing in front of him. There is corresponding information in the mind. This person is an employee of the hospital's logistics department, explaining some regulations and contracting the hospital cafeteria to himself. These things are related to Lin Xuan's future annual income, and Lin Xuan listened carefully. Lin Xuan, you have also seen this cafeteria. This situation is basically like this. Due to the convenience of ordering takeout on mobile phones nowadays, patients' canteens in hospitals are no longer as profitable as before. Otherwise, it would be impossible for you to easily take care of them. Someone would have broken their head and taken care of them long ago. Because you are an outsourcing company, except for the price set by the hospital, you are free to arrange the rest, such as buying vegetables, when to have dinner, etc., and even what to cook. It is your own the final say. The hospital does not participate much. If you're busy, you can open the door 24 hours a day. If you're busy, you can open for a few hours a day without any problem. Lin Xuan expressed understanding after listening. The other party continues to speak. Lin Xuan, there are some ugly words, but I still want to say them first. Although this patient's cafeteria doesn't have many people eating all day. However, you still need to prepare on time. During these 3 time periods, there must be food available. Every day from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., from 12 p.m. to 13 p.m., and from 18 p.m. to 19 p.m. You need at least these 3 hours to serve meals every day. Because if there are really patients and their families who come to eat at normal meal times, you can't let them really go hungry. If someone else's patient goes to the hospital management office because there is no food, and you don't look good, I don't think I need to remind them about this. In these 3 periods of time, the hospital has no regulations on what kind of food you cook. You can cook congee and eggs in the morning, or fried rice and stewed meat in the morning. These are your choices. In terms of checkout, because the hospital needs to carry out accounting management, meal cards are used uniformly. Your card swiping machine has been installed and debugged. The prices of various dishes you reported have been approved by the hospital's finance department and there are no issues. There's nothing else to instruct you about. After the hospital logistics staff finished speaking, they looked at Lin Xuan and then at the gift bag in their hand. Weighing the gift bag, the other party nodded secretly, looked at Lin Xuan again, and added a few more words. Lin Xuan, let me remind you one more thing. Never argue with the stir-fry cafeteria. There are only 2 canteens in the hospital, one is your patient's cafeteria and the other is a doctor's dedicated stir-fry cafeteria. Although your patient's cafeteria cannot pose a threat to others' stir-fry cafeteria, remember not to provoke anyone inside, including the servers. Because in that stir-fry cafeteria, even the waiters came in through connections. The chefs there used to work in 5-star hotels, so you can't afford to provoke anyone, understand? Not to mention driving you away, but if you provoke someone and they announce that the stir-fry cafeteria is open to patients at the same time, what will you do then? Your patient's cafeteria already has fewer customers. If you mess with someone else's stir-fry cafeteria and it's fully open, then at that time, you may only be able to drink from the west and north, because all the patients cannot come back to you for dinner. After all, you wouldn't really think that the food you cook is even better than that of a 5-star hotel chef, right? The other party also laughed and waved to Lin Xuan. Alright, remember to come to the hospital's finance department every Monday to settle accounts, and settle the money at the end of the month. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Alright, I've said enough. The rest, you can slowly understand it yourself. The other party finished speaking and left. Leave Lin Xuan alone. Lin Xuan quickly accepted everything. Through the information in my mind, I understand that this world should be a very ordinary urban world, and there seems to be no difference from my previous world. At the very least, Lin Xuan has not felt any difference so far. In my memory, this young self, after studying as a chef for several years, earned some money by working in a restaurant. I was originally planning to buy a house, but after resigning, I went to work at the company. Unexpectedly, it was said that contracting a hospital cafeteria could earn money. At that time, my head was also hot and I used all the money to contract this cafeteria. A 1-year hospital patient cafeteria period. Lin Xuan has already gained the memory of this part. This hospital, although a tertiary comprehensive hospital, should have a large number of patients and a considerable passenger flow. Although it may seem like the cafeteria of a contracting unit, it is always a profitable business. However, this does not mean that one's own cafeteria is making money. Just now, the guy from the logistics department also said that patients nowadays order takeout, and who still eats the food from your cafeteria. It's not delicious and expensive. The doctor, not to mention, ate a stir-fried canteen. The stir-fry cafeteria is different from the patient cafeteria. The stir-fry cafeteria is a 5-star hotel where chefs stir-fry dishes. Compared to my own patient cafeteria, it's like a heaven and earth difference. These messages flashed through Lin Xuan's mind, and he stopped thinking too much. The money for contracting the cafeteria cannot be refunded. If you come, then settle down. I have signed a 1-year contract with the hospital and can earn as much as possible. Lin Xuan first familiarized himself with the situation of his small kitchen. The kitchen is a 2-story small building, accommodation above, kitchen below. Upstairs, there is a 3-bedroom, 1 living room house with decent accommodation conditions. Downstairs, there is a neat kitchen and dining room. Everything in the kitchen is quite complete, all new. Although there are not many types of dishes, they are very fresh. The kitchen and restaurant don't add up much, it feels like a breakfast shop. Lin Xuan also understands this. After all, there are few customers, and most of them are in a hurry to take a few bites before leaving. It should be mostly the patient's family members. After understanding all of this, Lin Xuan happened to be a bit hungry. After more than 10 years of not using the stove to stir fry, Lin Xuan felt a bit inexperienced. Just prepared to cook some food and familiarize yourself with the stove. Suddenly, a voice came to my mind. Ding! The divine kitchen system is being matched. Ding! The matching of the divine kitchen system is completed. The system is officially launched. P.S. Looking for flowers, evaluations, monthly tickets, and other data. Data is really important, thank you all. Chapter 2. The Chef System, You Let Me Cook Porridge. Seeking. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Hear the sound of the system. Lin Xuan was taken aback for a moment, and then he was pleasantly surprised. Good guy, indeed the system is the standard configuration for travelers. What are your functions in the system? The sound of the system rings. If returning to the host, this system is a God-level chef system with 2 functions. Firstly, every morning, it automatically refreshes and rewards new dishes. Secondly, as long as the host completes the task, a lottery will be initiated. Finally, the newbie gift has been distributed, please check it. Lin Xuan directly opened the beginner's gift package. Congratulations to the host for obtaining Eye of Truth. Congratulations to the host for obtaining the New Vegetable Award. System explanation. Eye of Truth. After opening it, you can see the actual production dates of various dishes, as well as the mastery of cooking conditions. Rewards for new dishes. Recipes. Century egg lean meat congee, kung pao chicken, lotus pond stir fry, all distributed, please check. Lin Xuan was very surprised to receive the reward. The beginner gift package for the system is simply tailored for him and is what all chefs need the most. This Eye of Truth is the most urgently needed tool for chefs. Because there are only 2 differences between a good chef and an ordinary chef, one is the selection of ingredients, and the other is the heat. But ingredient selection can be learned, but heat cannot be learned, and can only endure time. That's also why both chefs and famous chefs are older people. Because he has been studying the mastery of heat throughout his life. But now that Lin Xuan has the Eye of Truth, none of these problems are problems anymore. At a glance, you can tell the quality of the dishes. At a glance, you can see the progress of the fire. The sound of the system continues to ring. Task. Get 100 positive reviews from customers and open the system lottery. Lin Xuan couldn't help but laugh when he heard the system's words. Kung Pao chicken is a fried dish, which belongs to meat dishes. Hatong stir fry is a type of vegetable dish that is stir-fried. But this century egg lean meat congee. The chef system makes me cook porridge. Kung Pao chicken and lotus pond stir fry. Lin Xuan is going to cook these 2 dishes later. After all, if they are cooked in advance, they will not be delicious. Try congee first. Also, try the system's capabilities. Lin Xuan checked the practice of century egg lean meat congee. Very simple. Main ingredients. Rice, century egg, lean meat. Ingredients include light soy sauce, cooking wine, pepper, salt, scallions, and ginger. Prepare to start production. Lin Xuan picked up century egg. Before my eyes, a line of text automatically appeared. Please boil the peeled century egg in boiling water until they are fully cooked, which can effectively eliminate the caustic toxicity. Lin Xuan understands that this is the ability of the eye of truth. Lin Xuan directly put century egg into boiling water. In front of Lin Xuan, words appeared again. Please take out the century egg from the boiling water and put it in cold water to cool. Lin Xuan followed the prompts of the eye of truth to begin the operation. Lin Xuan washed the rice clean, put cold water into the pot, bring it to a boil over high heat, and then reduce the heat. Cut the scallions into chopped ones and shred the ginger for later use. Cut lean meat into thin slices, add light soy sauce, cooking wine, and pepper to marinate. The next step is to chop up the century egg. The text prompt reappeared before my eyes. After cooling the century egg, cut the century egg and add it to the congee with shredded ginger to cook it in a low heat. Progress. 30% progress. 50% progress. 80% progress. 99% please add lean pork slices to congee and cook them. Progress. 30% progress. 50% progress. 80% progress. 99% the ingredients have reached their optimal state. Please turn off the heat immediately, add salt, pepper, sesame oil to season, and sprinkle with scallions. Lin Xuan turns off the fire. Just now, the series of hints from the eye of truth made Lin Xuan feel very wonderful. Century egg lean meat congee, he naturally can make. This congee can be made by people who can't cook. The ingredients are simple and the production method is simple. But if you want to really taste good, it's not easy at all. The most common problem is the uneven distribution of ingredients, resulting in either light, salty, bitter, or other flavors. But Lin Xuan found that after the words of the eye of truth, when he made this congee, he seemed to be a top congee chef who has specialized in century egg and lean meat congee for decades in a row. Both his hand feel and eyesight have reached the acme of perfection. Lin Xuan is looking forward to it. Lin Xuan opened the lid of the pot and then put out a bowl of century egg and lean meat congee. It's a bit stunning. The rice, lean meat, century egg, scallions and spices used in this century egg lean meat congee are very simple. However, through systematic and professional techniques, it is indeed very different. The color is very different from the century egg lean meat congee that Lin Xuan once made. I used to cook this congee, either because of century egg and lean meat, they become dark. Either there is too much rice added, which is too sticky and white, making people lose their appetite. But the bowl of century egg lean meat congee in front of us is a kind of beauty of silver and dark brown. Silver is rice that has been properly boiled, while dark brown comes from century egg and lean meat. Combined with the embellishments of emerald green onions, these ingredients complement each other, like a vivid picture. Lin Xuan smelled it. A slight aroma of century egg, mixed with some delicious meat, and the mellow smell of rice. These fragrances interweave together, giving people an irresistible feeling. Lin Xuan picked up a spoon, blew it to his mouth, and drank it. It's so fragrant. Lin Xuan couldn't help but marvel in his heart. After taking the first bite, I felt the glutinous smoothness of rice and the delicate taste of lean meat. Later, you can feel that the unique flavor of century egg will spread in your mouth. The unique flavor of century egg, after being boiled, makes its salty and fresh taste perfectly integrated with the sweet taste of rice. Century egg and lean meat congee, Lin Xuan has endured hundreds of times and eaten hundreds of times. However, it is still the first time that something as delicious as today has happened. Lin Xuan ate 3 bowls in a row before putting down his chopsticks with satisfaction. I looked at the century egg lean meat congee left in the pot. Lin Xuan decided to wait for the guests to come to his door. P.S. Looking for flowers, evaluations, monthly tickets, and other data. Data is really important, thank you all. Chapter 3 Obstetrics and Gynecology He Jing. The taste is so fragrant, please accept. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Obstetrics and Gynecology, Operating Room. After disinfecting, He Jing dragged her tired body out. He Jing is not a full-time doctor in this hospital. She came to train from a small hospital in the county town. In theory, a trained doctor, although able to participate in surgery, mostly does some simple work. When learning time is up, they go straight back to their home office. It is impossible for them to have the opportunity to become a chief surgeon like He Jing. All of this has a reason. When He Jing first arrived at the hospital, she encountered a medical accident. The parturient may experience severe bleeding and may need to have their uterus removed, but the parturient is very resistant to having their child removed. However, the original chief surgeon is about to be promoted, and if not removed, it may lead to serious medical consequences, making promotion hopeless. At that time, the chief surgeon, for the sake of career prospects, wanted to anesthetize the mother forcefully and then remove the uterus. In the originally stalemate between the two, He Jing took action and used thrombin infusion hemostasis to directly stop the bleeding of the parturient. Although He Jing was blamed by her superiors and excluded by her colleagues afterwards, she did not regret it. There was something that He Jing was not clear about at the time. Although the leader blamed her, they also saw that He Jing was much stronger than the new doctors who came for training. He Jing's precise use of thrombin infusion hemostasis is actually thanks to her mother. He Jing's mother, also known as an obstetrician, invented the thrombin infusion hemostasis method. Although thrombin infusion hemostasis has always been controversial in the obstetrics community, He Jing knows that her mother has used this method to save the uterus of hundreds of pregnant women, so she fully believes that this technology is mature and risk-free. He Jing's approach has made the hospital leaders highly value her, especially Xu Jianyi, the master of Shaocheng, the deputy director of obstetrics and gynecology and the director of obstetrics and gynecology. Xu Jianyi remained silent for 3 days and 3 nights after hearing about He Jing's use of thrombin infusion hemostasis for hemostasis. No one knows what Xu Jianyi was thinking during those 3 days, not even his wife. 3 days later, Xu Jianyi, as a leader, forcefully eliminated the crowd and directly arranged for He Jing to become the chief surgeon for the surgery. It is precisely because of this situation that He Jing was able to become the chief surgeon as a newcomer. The workload of doctors and chief surgeons is completely different. But He Jing had no complaints at all, she worked hard to do her best. Actually, the previous He Jing was not like this at all. She used to be a naive and romantic snack lover, enjoying various delicacies. But after becoming a doctor, she could only eat work meals every day, although the cafeteria in her tertiary hospital was very good, and even the cafeteria master used to be the head chef of a 5-star hotel. But He Jing also felt that no matter how delicious the food was, it was no longer as happy and joyful as before. He Jing booked a curettage surgery this morning. But yesterday I went to bed late because of writing a report, and as a result, I woke up late this morning too, so I didn't have time to have breakfast and had surgery directly. Although the surgery is motionless, it actually consumes a lot of mental energy and is very tiring. After the operation, He Jing was going to the canteen to buy a congee or an egg to eat. As a result, there was a pregnant woman who experienced severe bleeding during labor. The chief surgeon Xu Yiping had no choice but to think of He Jing's thrombin infusion hemostasis method. After consulting with the obstetric director Shaocheng, she asked He Jing to take action. He Jing has always been serious in her work. Although she took orders in times of crisis, she did not complain at all. He Jing successfully saved the uterus of the parturient by using thrombin infusion hemostasis. Meanwhile, He Jing also successfully saved Xu Yiping's job. If it weren't for He Jing's intervention, there were only two possible consequences for Xu Yiping. Alternatively, the mother may die from a violent attack. Alternatively, mandatory removal of the mother's uterus can save her life, but when the mother wakes up and discovers that the uterus has been removed, she will definitely be sued. Both outcomes are fatal to a doctor. Mild cases can lead to a career loss, severe cases can result in imprisonment. Xu Yiping is extremely grateful and would like to invite He Jing to the stir-fried restaurant for a big meal at noon. Xu Yiping is preparing to bleed heavily. Although it is only in the hospital cafeteria, the price is not acceptable to ordinary people. You should know that although the stir-fried cafeteria is delicious, it is not cheap because the chef used to be a 5-star hotel chef, so the price has deterred many intern doctors. A course of fried rice with eggs, 12 yuan outside, 24 yuan here. A fish-flavored shredded meat, 28 yuan for the outside, 56 yuan here. Although not as expensive as 5-star hotels, it also far exceeds the prices of normal hotels. But the taste is also worth this price. Xu Yiping knew that He Jing was a snack, but she didn't know how to express her gratitude. Therefore, she decided to treat He Jing to a big meal at noon to express her gratitude. He Jingsheng couldn't help but agree. However, the two surgeries were performed side by side, and even the immortals couldn't bear it. After the surgery, He Jing felt very obvious that she had low blood sugar, but the chocolate had already been eaten. Although Xu Yiping treats her to a big meal, the stir-fried restaurant serves at 12 o'clock. He Jing is really a bit overwhelmed. He Jing looked at the time and it was 10:30 a.m. She knows that the stir-fry cafeteria has very strict serving times. However, He Jing still wants to try her luck. She doesn't have high expectations, even if there is leftover food in the morning. Just take a sip first. If none of them are available, then we can only go to a small shop to buy chocolate. He Jing and Xu Yiping greeted each other and turned to the small stir-fried restaurant behind the hospital building. After leaving the hospital building, He Jing keenly smelled that there seemed to be a special fragrance in the air. What's the taste? Century egg and lean meat congee. No, I'm really lucky. Did the chef of the Xiaoqiao Canteen win the lottery today? Did he even have congee at this time? He Jing was very surprised and screamed from hunger. She, who was originally a snack seller, was even more hungry now. He Jing quickly ran towards the stir-fry cafeteria. P.S. Looking for flowers, evaluations, monthly tickets, and other data. Data is really important, thank you all. Chapter 4. The little greedy insect in the belly has been hooked out. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. In the air, the smell of century egg and lean meat congee is diffused. He Jing's low blood sugar, which was originally caused by the fatigue of 2 surgeries, seemed to have been beaten like chicken blood and started running. However, He Jing was very surprised when she came to the stir-fried canteen to prepare a century egg and lean meat congee. The waiter at the stir-fried restaurant said it was not time for the meal to start. After listening to these, He Jing almost broke through the defense. I just want to make a century egg and lean meat congee instead of having a meal, isn't that okay? The waiter shook his head and refused directly. No, we have a meal time. It's not until 12 o'clock, and no one can come. Don't you know that our head chef used to be a 5-star hotel chef? I know, I'm really a bit hungry, He Jing said weakly. Sorry, I can't. The waiter didn't have any accommodation. Besides, the century egg lean meat congee you just mentioned. We don't have either. He Jing was stunned, no century egg and lean meat congee. The waiter shook his head. This morning we cooked millet porridge, which was sold out. We didn't cook century egg and lean meat congee at all. He Jing was also very strange. You haven't boiled it yet. Where did this smell come from? Is it from the patient's cafeteria? It's impossible, isn't it? The waiter said directly, I don't know, but I heard that the patient's cafeteria has been replaced. The new chef who just arrived today can go and ask, but you can think about the taste yourself. The waiter said, ignoring He Jing. He turned around and went to play with his phone. He Jing is very conflicted. Because when she first arrived at the hospital, she went to the patient's cafeteria to eat. As a result, the meal. It's really indescribable. He Jing still wants to make the final struggle. Is there anything else to eat? Eggs are also good. He Jing doesn't have high requirements for food, as long as it's not too unpleasant, anything is fine. But the waiter was playing with his phone and refused without even looking up. Eggs are not sold either. Our meals are provided during business hours, limited in time and quantity, and we are not waiting for them. Please don't disturb us as we are very busy. The waiter said while playing with his phone. After listening to the waiter's words, He Jing remained speechless. But there's no way. He Jing also knows that this stir-fry cafeteria, the master of which used to be a retired 5-star hotel, was heard to have been personally invited by the hospital director, which also led to some problems with the cafeteria management. She knew that the waiters in this stir-fry restaurant came in through connections. If it were a formal employee of the hospital, the other party might be more polite. But the other party clearly knew that He Jing was a training doctor, so when talking to He Jing, there was no courtesy at all. He Jing also knew that she couldn't provoke the other party, and in the end, it was her own misfortune. But she was really hungry and uncomfortable, but there was nothing she could do. He Jing turns around and wants to buy chocolate in a small shop, but her nose can always smell the smell of century egg and lean meat congee. He Jing has some doubts. It's so fragrant, where exactly is the fragrance? He Jing looked in a direction, as if it was really the smell coming from the patient's cafeteria. Is it really the smell from the patient's cafeteria? Why don't you go and try it out? He Jing looked at the direction of the patient's cafeteria with some hesitation. She has been in the hospital for quite some time and has long heard of the average dishes in the patient's cafeteria, which are usually boiled cabbage with hot water every day. After all, it is a meal for patients, with a focus on being light. At first, He Jing didn't believe in evil and took the initiative to eat at once. Result. The taste is indescribable. In short, since then, He Jing has been able to eat instant noodles and no longer eats meals from the patient's cafeteria. But today, the smell of century egg lean meat congee is obviously from the patient canteen. He Jing hesitated for a moment and remembered the sentence the waiter just said, the cafeteria has been replaced. He Jing made up her mind to try her luck. If a chef who can cook really comes to the patient's cafeteria, that would be great. Although the stir-fry cafeteria is also delicious, it doesn't provide food until it's ordered, and it's quite expensive. During the training period, He Jing's monthly salary was 5,000 yuan, and apart from eating and renting, there was basically nothing left. The patient cafeteria is different, with cheap prices and meals available at any time. He Jing thought to herself, I don't expect it to be delicious. Even if the taste in the patient's cafeteria is slightly better than before, I will definitely visit it frequently in the future. At the same time, He Jing still had a small to extreme hope in her heart. What if, in case, the new chef in the patient's cafeteria cooks delicious food? You don't have to worry about coming late and having no food to eat in the future. You don't have to worry about not having money to eat anymore. He Jing thought of this and turned to walk towards the patient's cafeteria. He Jingyue walked towards the patient's cafeteria. She found that the smell of century egg and lean meat congee was getting stronger and stronger in the air. He Jing doesn't need to guess at all. She is very sure that the smell of century egg lean meat congee in her stomach is from the patient canteen. P.S. Looking for flowers, evaluations, monthly tickets, and other data. Data is really important, thank you all. Chapter 5. Strange sounds caused by food, for collection. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this time, Lin Xuan had just finished drinking congee and felt comfortable in his stomach. He had already heard from the logistics department that there was basically nothing going on in the patient cafeteria, so he also planned to start his first day of work to catch fish. First, familiarize yourself with the hospital environment and the relationships with doctors and nurses. In case you get a headache or fever in the future, take some medicine to see a doctor. That's easy to say. Unexpectedly, Lin Xuan had not yet left when a girl walked over. Getting closer, Lin Xuan was also surprised to see the other person's appearance. Yaya. How did she appear here? What is she doing? Still wearing a white coat. Is this filming? Still. Lin Xuan hasn't spoken yet. He Jing spoke to Lin Xuan first. Hello, are you the new chef at the patient's cafeteria? After He Jing finished speaking, she realized that the chef across from her was very young. Lin Xuan nodded. Yes, I am. He Jing didn't chat too much and spoke directly to Lin Xuan. Is the patient canteen ready for dinner? I have just finished the operation, and I have some hypoglycemia. I want to buy some congee. After hearing these words, Lin Xuan immediately reacted. Ha! Wait. Not right. This is not filming. This is not Yaya either. Lin Xuan suddenly reacted. Because the badge on the white coat has a name. Obstetrics and Gynecology Training Doctor. He Jing. For Lin Xuan, who often watches movies and TV shows, this name is simply too familiar. The other party is not Yaya, but the female lead in the TV drama, Obstetrician. That's also why when He Jing first spoke to herself, she directly said she wanted to eat instead of saying anything else. Lin Xuan suddenly realized. I guessed the world wrong before. Lin Xuan originally thought that the world he had traveled to was reborn into the ordinary urban world more than 10 years ago. But now it seems that it is not an ordinary urban world at all. At the very least, He Jing is the protagonist in the TV drama, Obstetrician. Lin Xuan saw the other person and immediately had a rough understanding of the world he was in. This is a world of doctor movies and TV dramas. Thinking of this, Lin Xuan spoke directly. Dinner is ready, wait a moment. Lin Xuan turned around, filled a bowl of century egg lean meat congee, and handed it to He Jing. He Jing thanks, takes congee and sits down. He Jing first smelt the aroma of congee. How fragrant. Confirmed. He Jing is sure that this is the aroma of century egg lean meat congee she just smelt. The special smell of century egg, mixed with the mellow smell of lean meat and rice, is constantly inhaled by He Jing. Just by smelling this smell, He Jing could clearly feel his stomach growling. As if saying, let it in quickly. Hurry up. She looked at the bowl of congee in her hand. A bowl of silver congee with some scallions, meat slices and century egg floating on it. The texture of congee is exquisite, and the rice grains are cooked properly, showing an attractive luster. He Jing blew on her lips and took a sip. The taste of delicious food not only warmed her stomach. What made her even more unbearable was the strange sound of moaning. The indescribable stunning taste made He Jing's eyes widen instantly. How could it be so delicious? Is this century egg lean meat congee? Why have you never drunk such delicious century egg lean meat congee? A feeling of happiness and joy rises from the bottom of my heart. This feeling is so familiar. This feeling is like after graduating from the college entrance examination, taking a few hundred kilometers by car, finally enjoying the delicious food that I have been longing for. He Jing suddenly froze. How many years have passed? She hasn't had this kind of experience for many years, feeling happy and joyful because she ate the delicious food she wanted. Since studying medicine, no matter how delicious the food is, I can no longer find the happiness and joy I had when I was a child. But today, a bowl of century egg lean meat congee made her find the happiness she had lost. P.S. Looking for flowers, evaluations, monthly tickets, and other data. Data is really important, thank you all. Chapter 6 He Jing's Expectations. Can I come to eat every day? You are listening at novelfull.audio. He Jing never expected it. A bowl of century egg lean meat congee made her find the love for food that she had lost for many years. He Jing's heart was stirred, turning 100 times and 1,000 times. Looking up again at Lin Xuan. Did you cook this congee? Lin Xuan nodded. That's right. He Jing seemed to be determining something. But he found that Lin Xuan's eyes were filled with a smile. In an instant, He Jing remembered that when she had just drunk the first mouthful of congee, she could not help making strange noises under the condition of forbearance. He must have heard it. He Jing blushed with embarrassment. She dared not look into Lin Xuan's eyes again. He Jing lowered her head again, took a sip, closed her eyes, and felt a delicate sensation. With chewing, the taste of congee becomes richer and more distinct. Every mouthful can taste the glutinous rice, the delicious lean meat, and the unique flavor of century egg. The chewiness of lean meat and the delicacy of century egg, together with the slippery glutinous rice, make He Jing feel the level and change of taste while enjoying delicious food. He Jing was truly amazed. Is this century egg lean meat congee? How do you feel completely different from what you used to eat? There are some differences between the hospital cafeteria and other cafeterias. Because of patience, congee is one of the meals that must be served every day. He Jing Lai Hospital has also had century egg lean meat congee in the canteen and those congee shops near the hospital for some time. He Jing Lai naturally drank it many times. But no matter which time, it never surprised her as much as it did today. The shyness in my heart was shattered and dissipated by the tremendous impact of the delicious food. Almost subconsciously speaking. Oh my goodness, how could it be so delicious? He Jing felt that all the exhaustion in her body had been swept away. The soreness and fatigue from 2 consecutive curettage surgeries had disappeared completely. As for hypoglycemia, I was already instantly filled up, okay. Almost subconsciously, He Jing spoke directly to Lin Xuan. Excuse me, will patients be able to eat such delicious congee every day in the future? It was not until then that He Jing realized that the chef in the patient's cafeteria was not only young, but also quite handsome. At this moment, Lin Xuan heard a reminder from the system. Congratulations to the host, add 1 to your positive review. Lin Xuan smiled in his heart and nodded at He Jing. Yes, I will cook century egg lean meat congee every day. Lin Xuan is telling the truth, and this is not difficult for him because he just tested and found that the system will directly generate muscle memory in Lin Xuan's limbs when cooking for the first time. With just one adjustment by the system, Lin Xuan will be able to cook this dish again at any time without any difference from the system's guidance. After listening to Lin Xuan's words, He Jing felt extremely envious and almost instinctively spoke up. I envy you so much, can I come and eat every day in the future? He Jing knows about the patient canteen here. Although it was not explicitly stated that food should not be provided to doctors. However, He Jing felt a bit embarrassed as a doctor to compete with patients for food to eat. After He Jing finished saying these words, she immediately felt a bit shy. It's not just because of the strange sound made when I took my first sip of congee. Also, because of Lin Xuan's handsome demeanor and the sunny smile that resembles a warm spring breeze. Lin Xuan smiled and nodded. Of course, you are welcome to come here often. Just swipe your card. Congee is 5 yuan a bowl. Lin Xuan smiled and said to the girl who looked exactly like Yaya. He Jing got Lin Xuan's approval and was immediately overjoyed. She directly swiped her card, bought 2 bowls of congee besides the one she drank, and spoke to Lin Xuan. There are 3 bowls of congee in total. The one I'm drinking now, 1 more bowl, and then I'll take another bowl away, okay? Sure. Lin Xuan nodded and turned to serve Congee. He Jing remembered that Xu Yiping had just undergone surgery and was going to treat herself to a big meal at the stir-fried restaurant for lunch. However, He Jing believes that no matter what kind of big meal, it can't equal the bowl of century egg and lean meat congee. He Jing decided to bring a portion for Xu Yiping to taste. He Jing finishes drinking congee and confirms with Lin Xuan again whether there will be such delicious congee in the future. Lin Xuan replied that there has always been. After all, it's just congee. It's not useless and can sell money. He Jing got the answer, took the packed congee and left contentedly. But after taking a few steps and just turning the corner, I met a middle-aged doctor. He Jing knew the other person, who was the chief physician of the emergency department, He Jianyi. He Jing spoke directly. Hello Director He. P.S. Looking for flowers, evaluations, monthly tickets, and other data. Data is really important, thank you all. Chapter 7. Seizing people from the Grim Reaper and begging from the waiter. You are listening at novelfull.audio. He Jianyi is feeling a bit depressed at this moment. In the morning, he had just completed a rescue operation. It can be said to be heart-wrenching. When the patient is in the ambulance, there is still a heartbeat. But just got off the ambulance and pushed the hospital bed to the entrance. The patient suddenly stopped beating. The ambulance is several tens of seconds away from the emergency room. He Jianyi made a decisive decision in order to compete with the Grim Reaper. He Jianyi arranged for 2 assistants to push the mobile hospital bed towards the emergency room. And He Jianyi himself flipped over directly, straddled the patient's body, and began cardiopulmonary resuscitation. The entire hospital was stunned by this scene. Some young people even took out their phones and recorded the entire scene, and posted it online. The value of life, perhaps only doctors know it best, apart from the patient themselves. Although the rescue process was very dangerous, He Jianyi ultimately rescued the patient from the hands of the Grim Reaper. After the patient is rescued, the rest is not something He Jianyi needs to worry about. A few assistants will help him arrange it. After disinfecting, He Jianyi returned to the office and just took a sip of water, but suddenly felt a pain in his stomach. Actually, no one knows that He Jianyi has stomach problems. After consuming a large amount of body energy, the body needs to continue to replenish its capacity, and the first reaction is to intake energy from the stomach. But the food He Jianyi ate in the morning was already digested thoroughly, so there was no food left to digest or provide energy. He Jianyi's stomach began to ache directly. He Jianyi looked at the instant noodles under his desk. The emergency room has instant noodles all year round, which are specially approved by the hospital, so that emergency room doctors can persist in rescuing patients with physical strength if they stutter in special circumstances. But He Jianyi hesitated and didn't dare to reach out for instant noodles. It's not that he has old qualifications. It's not that he has a noble status. It's not that he doesn't hurt enough. It's not that he's not hungry enough. He really dares not eat. Because after finishing the instant noodles, my stomach may not hurt anymore, but the symptoms will only worsen. The next stomach ache will only make it worse. He Jian stood up and explained to his assistant about guarding the patient before turning around and leaving the door. He wants to go and see if there is any food left in the stir-fried cafeteria. He Jianyi would be grateful for anything delicious, even if there was leftover food in the morning. After leaving the hospital building, He Jianyi suddenly smelled a faint fragrance. What flavor? Century egg lean meat congee. There is congee at this time. He Jianyi was both surprised and delighted. He knows that there are many rules in the stir-fry cafeteria, and he won't serve until the meal is ordered. Even with his seniority, he can't be accommodating. Helplessly, stomach disease is not a disease, it hurts and can be fatal. He Jianyi was also sweating from pain, but when he smelled the smell of century egg and lean meat congee in the air, he felt that his stomach pain had alleviated a lot and hurried to the stir-fried canteen. Arriving at the stir-fry cafeteria, the waiter was looking down and playing with his phone. He Jianyi spoke up. "Hello, is congee cooked? I want to buy a congee." The waiter just lost a game and was really annoyed. Hearing someone disturb him made him even more annoyed. Why is another one buying congee? No more. It has already sold out. He Jian was taken aback for a moment. Out of stock. I just smelt the taste of congee with century egg and lean meat. He Jianyi's identity is different from that of a waiter, so it is naturally impossible for him to have the same understanding as the other party. The waiter is even more strange. Why is someone looking for century egg and lean meat congee? I didn't cook this congee. Forget it. Tell the master later that you can cook this congee. The waiter thought of this and spoke to He Jianyi in anger. No congee. It's not time for dinner yet. The waiter rushed people directly. He Jianyi couldn't help but naturally couldn't be angry with the waitress, so he spoke in a low voice. Sorry, I'm usually punctual, but I have a stomach problem. I just saved someone and happen to have a stomach problem. The pain is a bit uncomfortable. Can you please forgive me? He Jianyi sighed in his heart. He really snatched people from the hands of the Grim Reaper and begged for food from the hands of the waiter. But who knew that something unexpected happened to He Jianyi? After He Jianyi finished speaking, the waitress became even more annoyed. The waitress looked up directly at He Jianyi. You said you just saved a life and had a hungry stomach ache. Is it related to me for half a penny? Did you save my dad and my mom? Aren't you a doctor? Treat yourself for stomach pain. If you want to eat, just wait. Don't play moral kidnapping with me. P.S. Looking for flowers, evaluations, monthly tickets, and other data. Data is really important, thank you all. Chapter 8 He Jianyi. It's just a bowl of congee. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the eyes of patients, He Jianyi is a life-saving angel and a true man who dares to compete with the Grim Reaper. However, in the eyes of the waiter, He Jianyi is just a person begging himself to give him a bite of food. The waiter saw him and had an idea. If you want to eat, be honest. The doctor's leader is the dean. The leader of the waiter is the chef. She doesn't care about the chief physician of any department. The waitress finished speaking and ignored He Jianyi, continuing to lower her head and play with her phone. He Jianyi couldn't help but laugh and cry. He really wasn't playing moral kidnapping with the other party. He Jianyi felt a bit awkward, neither leaving nor not leaving. My stomach still hurts in waves. But the waiter had no intention of paying attention to He Jianyi. He Jianyi had no choice but to leave. After all, he can't just beg the waiter so lowly, can he? He Jianyi is not without temper. A grand chief doctor was told by a waiter. Who wouldn't be angry if it were for someone else? But he couldn't possibly have the same understanding as a waitress. He Jianyi is a bit depressed. Although the waiter said, there was no congee with century egg and lean meat. But the smell of century egg and lean meat congee still drifted to He Jianyi's nose. He is a bit curious. Is it really the fragrance cooked in the patient's cafeteria? Take a look. He Jian turned around and walked towards the patient's cafeteria. Unexpectedly, as soon as I turned the corner, I saw intern Dr. He Jing from the Obstetrics and Gynecology department. After drinking century egg and lean meat congee, He Jing felt extremely happy. She walked back with the packed congee and greeted He Jianyi when she saw him. Hello Director He. He Jianyi also saw He Jing and remembered the other party. Last time there was a doctor-patient incident in the obstetrics department, and the other party needed first aid. He Jianyi was surprised to see He Jing using Thromin infusion to stop bleeding, and later remembered this young obstetrician. He Jianyi smiled and spoke up. Oh, it's He Jing. I heard that the obstetrics and gynecology department is quite busy today. It's been hard. Same hardship, what I mean is, you've worked hard too. He Jing's face was full of century egg and lean meat congee just now. He Jing accidentally said something wrong and immediately apologized. He Jianyi laughed at the words. He, don't be nervous, this girl. As he spoke, He Jianyi suddenly found that He Jing was carrying a bowl of congee. He Jing, where did you buy your congee? The patient canteen bought it, and they changed the chef. The congee they cooked is really delicious. He Jing is telling the truth. But in He Jianyi's opinion, He Jing's tone was somewhat exaggerated. It's just a bowl of congee. How delicious can it be? Food is just a source of energy to supplement the body. He Jianyi smiled and spoke up. The smell of the century egg lean meat congee was not made in the stir-fry canteen. I thought it was made in the stir-fry canteen. I also went to see if the patient canteen was a little better than before. Upon hearing this, He Jing realized that He Jianyi did not believe his words and quickly spoke up. Director He, I really didn't lie to you. That congee is really delicious. You'll know when you drink it. You'll finish later, and you'll definitely want another bowl. He Jianyi just smiled at He Jing's words. He didn't take it seriously. Young people sometimes exaggerate their words, which is understandable. After all, he also came from that age. In He Jianyi's opinion, after all, it's just a bowl of congee. How can it be so delicious as the little girl He Jing said? He Jianyi can smell the aroma of century egg lean meat congee, but after all, it is just a bowl of congee. P.S. Looking for flowers, evaluations, monthly tickets, and other data. Data is really important, thank you all. Chapter 9. Is like eating and showing off, unable to stop at all. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Watching He Jing leave, Lin Xuan laughed. Lin Xuan was somewhat surprised and also had some expectations. I didn't expect that the world I traveled through and was reborn in was not the original world, but rather integrated into the world of the obstetrician film and television series. Lin Xuan suddenly had an inexplicable expectation. I don't know what doctors and patients I will encounter next. At this moment, Lin Xuan noticed a middle-aged man walking over. Getting closer, Lin Xuan was also surprised to see the other person's appearance. Zhang Jie. Still wearing a white coat. Wait. Not right. Lin Xuan suddenly reacted. The chest badge on the white coat had a name, and Lin Xuan carefully looked at it. Chief Physician of the Emergency Department. He Jianyi. For Lin Xuan, who often watches movies and TV shows, the name He Jianyi is simply too familiar. Lin Xuan suddenly realized. I guessed the world wrong before. Lin Xuan originally thought that the world he had traveled to was the world of obstetricians. But now it seems that it's not right at all. Because He Jianyi is the male protagonist of Emergency Doctor. In addition, what Lin Xuan saw before was He Jing, the female protagonist of Obstetrician. Now Lin Xuan is completely certain that the world he is in is a fusion of multiple medical films and TV dramas. He Jianyi, already smelling the smell, walked over. He was surprised to find that his stomach ache had alleviated just by smelling the smell of century egg and lean meat congee in the air. I don't know what magical energy this delicacy has. He Jianyi took the initiative to speak to Lin Xuan. Hello, are you the new chef from the patient canteen? Yes, Director He. Okay, I'd like a bowl of century egg and lean meat congee. Wait a moment. Lin Xuan didn't talk too much. He swiped his card, served congee and handed it to He Jianyi. Be careful of scalding. Lin Xuan's words stunned He Jianyi for a moment, and a few strands of emotion suddenly surged in his heart. Lin Xuan's attitude towards He Jianyi was not too generous or overly indifferent. The visitor is a guest, regardless of identity, just cooking. This is the attitude that a chef should have. But it was this attitude that increased He Jianyi's liking for Lin Xuan. After all, He Jianyi has just experienced the difficulties of the female waitress in the stir-fry cafeteria, and looking at Lin Xuan, he is as friendly as an angel. He Jianyi thanked him and took the century egg lean meat congee. Thank you. He Jianyi takes congee and finds a seat to sit down. He looked down at the century egg and lean meat congee in the bowl. He Jianyi is quite sure that the fragrance he has just smelled in the air is from this bowl of congee. The white silver congee body is thick and plump, giving off a faint smell of rice. The century egg and lean meat in congee present attractive brown and light red. Interwoven together, it seems like the autumn painting that He Jianyi once saw at the Calligraphy and Painting Academy. A delicious aroma of rice, century egg, and lean meat mixed together. He Jianyi was surprised in his heart. It does look a bit different from what I used to eat. The smell is also somewhat unique. But it shouldn't be as exaggerated as the little girl He Jing said, should it? He Jianyi takes a sip of congee. Ha! The indescribable and stunning taste surprised He Jianyi's heart. The taste of congee is mellow and full. The first is the faint smell of rice, then the brackish century egg and the delicious lean meat. The two flavors are intertwined, with distinct and harmonious layers. Every mouthful is a kind of enjoyment. The taste of congee is smooth, and people can't help taking one mouthful after another. The tenacity of lean meat and the delicacy of century egg add another flavor to this congee. He Jianyi took a soft breath. Afterwards, he took another bite and savored it carefully with his eyes closed. The chewiness of lean meat, the delicacy of century egg, and the slippery glutinous rice make people feel warm and slightly happy. This feeling. This smell. It's like mom's scent. He Jianyi remembered his childhood. In the winter in the north, the thief was cold, and his family was poor and bitter. When he came home every day, the most important thing he wanted to do was to drink a bowl of rice porridge cooked by his kind mother, warm his heart and stomach, and then he reluctantly did homework and study at the request of his serious father. Later, He Jianyi achieved success in his studies and wanted to repay his parents, but his son wanted to raise him but his parents were not there. After his parents passed away, even He Jianyi rarely went back to his hometown. At this time, after the congee, all the memories in the depths of He Jianyi's mind seemed to come back in an instant. It seemed that after school in the cold winter, she was hungry and cold. When she came home, her mother handed the congee she had already cooked to her from the stove. The corners of He Jianyi's eyes moistened. He didn't care to scald his mouth, and drank congee. Could you please have another bowl? He Jianyi didn't finish his first bowl and directly ordered the second one. He can't stop at all. P.S. Looking for flowers, evaluations, monthly tickets, and other data. Data is really important, thank you all. Chapter 10. This is not congee, this is the source of happiness. You are listening at novelfull.audio. He Jianyi sipped century egg and lean meat congee. It was not until then that he understood He Jing's words. What He Jing said is delicious, it's really not average. He Jianyi felt funny that he had just thought that no matter how delicious it was just a bowl of congee. Now that he finished drinking, he realized he was wrong. This is not a bowl of congee. This is clearly the source of happiness. He Jianyi felt that his previous thoughts were very ridiculous. He just thought that He Jing's statement was too exaggerated. How delicious can congee be? Young people tend to exaggerate when speaking. But it wasn't until now that He Jianyi understood. Where is this exaggeration? This is simply seeking truth from facts. Where is this delicious? This is simply the art of food. After drinking this bowl of century egg lean meat congee, He Jianyi felt that he had lived for 40 years in vain. Once upon a time, after his parents passed away, he became uninterested in anything he ate. I always thought that He Jianyi believed that food was just one of the sources of energy to supplement the human body. But today's bowl of century egg and lean meat congee let He Jianyi directly overturn his thoughts. Why do humans eat? Not just to fill the stomach and absorb energy sources. More importantly, it is the satisfaction and joy that can inspire people's hearts. He Jianyi, sipping century egg and lean meat congee. Just finished drinking this bowl. Lin Xuan's second bowl of century egg lean meat congee was also served. He Jianyi took a deep breath, wiped the corners of his eyes, and spoke solemnly to Lin Xuan. Thank you. He Jianyi's gratitude was to Lin Xuan, which finally reminded him of his mother and the taste of home. Lin Xuan was a bit puzzled, just nodded and turned around to rest next to him. In my mind, the sound of the system rang out. Congratulations to the host, add 1 to your positive review. Lin Xuan felt a sense of joy in his heart. So far, there have been 2 positive reviews. Gather enough 100 positive reviews to win a lottery. Lin Xuan looked forward to it. At the same time, He Jing also carries the packed century egg lean meat congee back to the obstetric office. Everyone is a bit busy today, except for Xu Yiping herself. Xu Yiping saw He Jing returning and took the initiative to speak to her. He Jing, I have a straightforward personality. I never expected that you would help me today. I want to apologize to you. After all, when we first met before, you wanted to take a ride to the courtyard, and I even refused you. What Xu Yiping said was actually when she first met He Jing. Xu Yiping remembers clearly. A few months ago, I received an emergency call and found that a pregnant woman was injured in a car accident and was about to give birth. Xu Yiping followed the emergency department doctors to rescue her, but unexpectedly, she saw He Jing and Xiao Cheng at the scene. And He Jing actually helped the mother give birth to the child on the spot. At that time, apart from the courage that shocked He Jing, Xu Yiping was only left with jealousy. Xu Yiping doesn't have the courage because she's just a training doctor and she's afraid of medical accidents. Or rather, she cherishes herself more than rescuing patients. So at that time, after learning that Xu Yiping was a doctor from the same hospital, He Jing offered to take a ride, but Xu Yiping refused without even thinking about it. Perhaps because of jealousy, maybe because of envy, in short, Xu Yiping directly rejected He Jing. And after that, Xu Yiping also repeatedly neglected He Jing. Until today, there have been incidents of postpartum hemorrhage. Xu Yiping tried multiple methods, but all of them failed to stop the bleeding. At that time, there were only 2 options. Alternatively, the mother's uterus can be removed. Either, use a special method to stop the bleeding. Originally today, Xu Yiping was already desperate. But she was not willing to fail like this, so she gritted her head and wanted to ask He Jing for help. Actually, Xu Yiping is ready to be rejected by He Jing. But what Xu Yiping didn't expect was that He Jing actually helped her. This made Xu Yiping feel guilty in her heart. He Jing smiled and spoke up. Don't be polite, we didn't know each other at that time. In the future, we will all be colleagues, and we are different from others. We both came here for training and will have to return to our respective work positions in the future. Therefore, we should cherish the opportunity to be colleagues together in the future. After listening to He Jing's words, Xu Yiping quickly nodded. That's right, that's right. It's time to start eating soon. The stir-fry will start at 12 o'clock, and it's already 11:30. Let's go over when we're ready. Just as Xu Yiping finished speaking, He Jing spoke with a mysterious smile. Don't worry for now. I brought you something delicious, and I'm sure you'll find it particularly stunning after finishing it. What's delicious? Xu Yiping is a bit curious. After all, she thinks that no matter how delicious the food is, it can't compare to the 5-star craftsmanship of the stir-fried cafeteria, right? He Jing explained with a smile. This is a bowl of century egg lean meat congee. He Jing said this when suddenly the nurse outside the door opened the door and called out to her. He Jing, do you have time? Could you please come and help me? Okay, here we go. He Jing turned to look at Xu Yiping. Drink it first, I promise you'll like it. I'll go busy for a while. After He Jing finished speaking, she turned around and went out. Xu Yiping looked at the bowl of century egg and lean meat congee, and felt strange. A bowl of century egg and lean meat congee, what's good to drink? If it were in the past, Xu Yiping might not even know how to taste it. After all, she will be going to the stir-fry restaurant soon to eat the delicious food made by a 5-star chef. But today, He Jing's help made Xu Yiping realize that He Jing is really a kind and good girl. Although Xu Yiping is usually very powerful, most people are not right about things or people. Now that she regards He Jing as a good friend, she naturally won't brush her good friend's heart. Xu Yiping opened the packaging box. Suddenly, a rich and wonderful fragrance drifted out. This taste. Is this century egg lean meat congee? How is the smell completely different from what I used to smell? The wonderful taste instantly aroused Xu Yiping's appetite, and her mouth flowed out. Xu Yiping was a bit surprised, then picked up a spoon and quickly took a sip. The texture of congee is very smooth, and each mouthful is silky smooth, making people feel as if it is melting in the mouth. Light rice flavor, brackish century egg and delicious lean meat, as well as toughness and elasticity of the taste. Xu Yiping felt like she was almost dying of happiness. It tastes so good. Xu Yiping let out a happy moan directly, and then took one bite after another, unable to stop as if showing off. P.S. Looking for flowers, evaluations, monthly tickets, and other data. Data is really important, thank you all.